There's no back-to-back, but there's like a game Monday, then a game Thursday, then a game Sunday, and everyone's like, ooh, that's nice.
Yeah.
And then it goes Tuesday,
games,
Thursday,
nights.
Saturday, Monday. 4 games in 7 days. So
Clay
it's like,
got through it last year.
He did.
Yeah.
He absolutely did.
Special guest.
Whitey, shut up. What's up, Whitey?
When you hear that, don't you want to? But you know it's an act. You know,
that wasn't an
Steiny's
act.
not mean.
That was during Jockparty. Nothing Steiny said to me during Jockparty was an act.
I missed that game.
No,
Nothing.
that was the real me.
Yeah, no question. And I
Remember, he used to
accept it.
freeze up. Steiny, we do remote Jockparty. He would freeze up.
Did
That's
you
my
just
guy.
say if the Warriors beat Denver, it would not shock the world? To me, that I don't know where you guys are. This team right now, if that team beat
go ahead.
Denver,
Yeah.
my world would be shocked.
Well, you're the microwave, like these young kids right now. It's about what you see now, and I get that.
Yeah.
But moving forward, if somehow they get Wiggins and Curry back, you're just really saying they got no chance against anybody in the West? There's
No, I didn't say that. I
okay.
said Denver.
All right.
Yeah, Denver's
So you're
cool.
buying
Denver
Denver,
is
huh?
good.
Yeah.
Denver's good.
No, they
Yeah.
are. But they haven't been there.
Here's what I say, and Steiny does not agree with me. What do you think, Goo? I think of the 3 teams in the West that made major moves, Clippers, the Suns, and Dallas. I think it's not going to work for one of those teams. I don't know which one. I would suspect the Clippers. I think there's a good chance that it goes sideways for one of those teams. You think Steiny said no?
Well,
They're all solid.
Go
Well,
ahead.
one team may go a little sideways, but I still think the Warriors are going to have trouble catching that team.
Okay, yeah, and
That's
I'm not
all
even
I'll say.
talking about the Warriors, but yeah.
And those teams now have depth. So when the guys go to the bench, it's not like what we see here with the faucets off with the Golden State Warriors when Steph's off the game, especially the Clippers and now Phoenix. That's scary. And Dallas, to a degree, it's your turn. If you want to play that way, your turn is your turn. Like that can be, I mean, man, Luka did that with Brunson and got to the Western Conference Finals. What are you going to do with Kyrie?
And don't forget about your Cats in Sacramento.
Now, the thing there is their defenses. That's what
They don't
scared
have
me
any.
about. And Mike Brown is being real. He knows they don't.
He says that. He has admitted that.
But their fourth quarter offense, their fourth quarter scoring is number 1 in the league.
Yeah.
So we'll see if that translates to the offs.
It should be fun as long as you say, Steiny, as long as the Warriors are in there somewhere in the mix, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, and like honestly, I do. I wish people could like kind of turn back the clock and envision this as a we believe scenario. I know it's crazy because they're 4-time champions, but that's really where we are right now. Can they make a run? Then what? Get into the playoffs. Okay, then who's your matchup? Well, it's Dallas. Well, we can beat Dallas.
Yeah.
And they did.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you get Memphis or Sacramento.
Yeah.
Guess what? Knock them
Let's
off.
go.
What? That's fine. But I think what people are not taking into account is you're going to have to beat 4 teams. 3, they're all probably going to be better than you. It's not that you can't pull an upset. You're going to be playing from the road, and the only thing you have going for championship pedigree. Okay. Like you're going to have to beat Memphis, then Denver, then Phoenix, and then that's the thing, Goo. This is why I feel so great about the bet. If the Warriors run the table and they get to the finals.
It was a dumb
And they
bet.
do unbelievable.
Yeah, no
Boston
doubt.
beats them in 7 at the buzzer.
I should win the bet just for
Yeah,
them
but you
getting
won't.
there,
You
but
don't,
they're
though.
not.
I think that years from now, people will look back on last year's Warriors and say, wow, that was more remarkable
I agree.
than we realized at the time.
Yeah.
I completely and utterly agree. And I think it was so incredible. And that's like, it's not that I don't think the Warriors can do it. I'm just looking at history almost. And the history says, why, you remember we're growing up and they used to talk about back-to-backs are hard because, well, they played all the way into June and they're going to have to play all the way into June again. Well, they were talking about teams in their prime. So you're asking the Warriors to go back-to-back, but they're at the end of this run. That's what makes it. That's what's going to make it really hard.
Yeah.
And I feel like, Whitey, I called myself passionate on this subject because I hadn't heard your thoughts. The Bob Myers situation. I feel like in my perfect
Well, that's your
world,
boy. It's hard for you probably to
but
separate
it
your
ain't just
personal
my
feelings.
boy. It's just the success he's had.
Sure, it's all
he
of it.
should not. and there's all kind of stuff I don't know why he's there. But when Lacob went on that podcast, I heard a man talk about life without Bob, if that's what it is. Like, how did you digest that? Were you shocked that the owner was saying that? Because again, I love Lacob and what he's done, but it was almost out of the Jerry Jones playbook of, as long as I'm here, and I'll find somebody to do and overlook what you've done. It had that feel to me.
Yeah, I know what you mean. The scary thing to me about that, from that standpoint, is it was in that same interview that he talked about Wiseman and said, we love James, but anything's on the table. Yeah. And he opened that door to let people know that he may not be here, and he did the same with Bob. The encouraging thing to me was that he said, I'm negotiating with Bob, and Bob's a really good negotiator. So I'm holding out hope that that's what it is.
Yeah, I don't know. The tea leaves don't look good to me. Tea leaves have not looked good to me all season.
Before the
punch. I think they started looking like Draymond Green saying he wanted a max extension. That was into it. Like, let's just think about it for a minute. Draymond's talking about a max extension when he's got 2 more years left. Of course, he's opt out over 1. Klay takes the summer off. Nobody really saw that coming.
Yeah.
So Klay comes in shaky. Myers, we find out, is working without a contract. Draymond then punches Poole. We find out now, I think we can all agree there's some kind of disconnect between the oldsters and the youngsters. Some kind of thing. It might not be totally acrimonious.
I don't think it was caused by the punch. I think the punch reflected what was already going on, but we'll never know.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, and I think there might be something, I think the young players on the team probably don't like Steve Kerr because they're not playing.
And this is the hardest place to come to grasp how the Warriors play. And I know Wiseman, he didn't want to get traded, but I know he's like, damn, this is what it likes to do, make mistakes and steal ball. You just can't crack. And, I don't know what you think of Moody. I think more. I'm not telling you he's a star, Whitey, but I think he's more than what Steiny has him, just a guy. But it's like, dude, it's probably so hard for these kids to crack this. Even Kuminga playing with, calculus.
We're going to talk to Steve Kerr at 5.
Man.
I have a feeling that Moses Moody's going to come up. How do I know what he's going to say at 5 o'clock? I have a feeling that's going to come up, and I have a feeling that he liked the way Moses Moody played last night, but that he's still not going to commit to playing him.
How did he play last night? Because I watched it all. He didn't jump, and I'm rooting for him, Whitey. But you wrote something stayed with you. You remembered, huh?
Yeah, he played pretty well. If he makes his shots, so do you think, Steiny? If Moses Moody makes his threes, he's got a spot on the floor. But other than that, he's kind of a tweener. He's not especially quick. He fouls too much. He turns the ball over, and he's gone the wrong way. He's regressed. He hasn't gotten better this year.
No. That's all, Whitey.
Well,
in my opinion.
That was a little list. Whoa.
By the way, Klay Thompson is scheduled to play tonight.
Good.
Last thing I've written down. You do realize that the less Steph Curry plays and the older he gets, the less effective all his teammates are going to be. Right?
Yeah.
Right.
That's not I got you.
That's a problem. That's what I'm worried about.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean this, you can't move off Curry. Of course you can't.
Yeah.
But he comes with an obligation to do certain things that you got to do.
And I'll say this, and I know we're up against it. The naked eye has not seen Steph, when he's healthy, look old or super old. But he's out because he's hurt. I'll give you that. Games played, but the naked eye still tells me he's a problem. And you reinvent yourself around him when he plays.
What do you guys think of the Peyton acquisition? How much of that was about having him next year because DiVincenzo's going to leave?
I think that was a part of it. I think they would have done the deal even if Peyton doesn't come back this year.
I think so.
And how healthy can he be when you look at his whole history, his Carfax report, it's long. Like Larry, he's got some stuff, man. I'm rooting for him.
I love him, but I didn't love that trade.
Yeah.
Didn't love that trade. And Wiseman looked good the other night. I don't care what anybody says.
I didn't see. I just saw the box.
He was plus 16.
Look at it. Yeah.
Boy, Oh, boy.
I was going to say, I looked at Steiny licked Larry, and he was 0 for 3 early.
I saw his halftime box.
Yeah.
It looked terrible, but then I guess he was.
I'm not a
pretty
big
good.
plus-minus guy, individual games.
Would you have done
10 rebounds, though. 10 rebounds.
So unfair.
What are we out here right now?
55.
Oh,
we got time.
We got
Would
a
you
minute
guys
left.
have done the Anunoby deal based on what we think we know about it?
I
Which
would
have
have
been
now.
Kuminga and Kuminga. We don't know
I'm
exactly.
sorry.
Kuminga, other players,
AJ.
No,
draft,
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't
capital
have?
for OG
Because I'm
Anunoby.
starting to think, Larry, and I told Snotty this, I mean this. Everything's on the table. I'm mad. And I'm not mad at Kuminga, but who's to say he's going to have a better career than Wiseman? I'm like, maybe you got rid of the wrong dude, but this is an opportunity for Kuminga and Steiny. Oh, Gooey's still young, but you got to work on the handle. And when you play yourself, dudes with your athleticism, most of the nights it's nothing. That's when I want to see you get down.
I just think Kuminga is going to be damn good. I mean, I don't know
Like
exactly.
all-star?
I think he's going to. People say Kawhi. I don't see Kawhi, but I see a guy who's going to continue to get better. And he's kind of a big man on this team, right? He's a stretch 5 or 4. I mean, he could be the big man that allows you to run.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Have a great weekend, everybody.